years ago, there lived a man named Jacob. He had 12 sons and 1 daughter, but of all his children, he loved the 11th son the best. That son's name was Joseph. Though Joseph was a really smart kid, he seemed oblivious to the fact that A, he was his father's favorite, and that B, their father's favoritism really bothered the older brothers a lot. In fact, when Joseph was 17, his father Jacob gave him a beautiful coat, which only further angered his jealous brothers. And he was going to pay a great price for his father's favoritism. Not long after Joseph got the special coat from his dad, something huge happened to Joseph, something that would change his life and the life of his entire family forever. And this is what happened. At this time, his brothers had taken their father's flock far away to get some food and water. But Jacob was wondering how the boys were doing, and so he sent Joseph to check on them. Now, while the team was still a far ways off, one of the brothers spotted him. Here comes that dreamer. Now, we'll find out in another chapter why they called Joseph the dreamer, but for now, it's enough to know that Joseph was still far off enough for them to plan an evil plot against him. By the time Joseph reached them, they grabbed him, they tore off his coat, they threw him in a dried out well, and they left him there to die. Although Joseph felt really afraid, his brothers seemed completely untouched by his pleas for help. In fact, they just sat down to eat their lunch. As they were eating, they spotted a caravan riding toward them. Hey, why should we just let Joseph die when we could sell him for good money to these merchants coming our way? Said his brother Judah. And that's what they did. When the merchants arrived, the men struck a deal. They lifted Joseph out of the well, and for 20 pieces of silver, the brothers were rid of that bothersome little brother forever. As for Joseph, he was saddled on a camel and started off a 500-mile journey to Egypt. And with each mile, Joseph's hope of ever seeing his father and his little brother Benjamin grew smaller and smaller. That hollow feeling of desperation started to take over. Wow, life had certainly served up some sour lemons to Joseph. Would Joseph survive? And if so, how? Well, after weeks of riding, the caravan arrived in Egypt, and Joseph was taken to a market where he was sold as a slave to a rich Egyptian official named Potiphar. Potiphar's house was very different than anything that Joseph had ever experienced before, but the 17-year-old got to work right away, serving his master the best that he could. Before long, Potiphar saw how Joseph was working and began to trust him more and more, with more and more important jobs. In fact, Potiphar eventually trusted Joseph so much that he put him in charge of his entire household. Joseph sure seemed to be making some great lemonade out of those sour lemons in life. Though he still missed his brother, Benjamin, and his father, Joseph's life was pretty good. Pretty good until, once again, he was the focus of another evil plot, this time by Potiphar's wife. She was trying to convince him to do something really sneaky behind her husband's back. But when Joseph wouldn't go along with her plan, she got mad. So, she made up a big lie about him and told her husband. Potiphar believed her, and he got so angry with Joseph that he threw him in prison. Once again, life had given Joseph some awful lemons. But we're going to find out that not only did Joseph survive those hard things that came his way, he thrived. We'll see how he sliced up the lemons of life and made some delicious lemonade. And because of this, we will see how God blessed him to bless others and to even save his family from ruin. The story of Joseph, the great lemonade maker, is not just a story about him, it's about you. Because you, like him, were made by God for never-ending joy, even in the lemons of life.